It's Krista here with you again today, and today I would like to talk a little bit more, kind of shortly this time, about leaving things behind, like old ways, patterns, people, maybe toxic, more narcissistic types of abusive relationships, um, and addictions, maybe old jobs that are no longer working for us, and more controlling types of positions that, or maybe we just no longer like the types of things or that we're doing, or patterns of life that are no longer working for us. These times can bring about huge change, especially when you're learning about narcissistic abuse, toxic relationships, or addiction. Just when you start letting go of the need to control, and you're learning about how other people can control you, and therefore you do start kind of learning about yourself too, and all the narcissistic traits that you might have picked up along the way in your life. And when you really start wanting freedom over all that, maybe you're really beaten down after long years and periods, and you're noticing it in the relationships around you, and therefore when you start to learn about others, you really start to learn about yourself too. So, the big changes can come through these times, whether it is like a job change, a relationship change, or just a relationship with yourself change. Um, a big one for me, as you all know, has been recovery from addiction and also toxic relationships. This is going to be kind of a short video today. Just trying to make things work. I've been having some problems with phone storage in my phone. But it's just such a huge recovery step to go through when you do start learning about things that are and people that are toxic and behaviors. And you do start learning about, or maybe how those drugs were affecting you in your life, and the people that were surrounding you, and the lifestyle that you were living, where things really don't change too much. Maybe they grow worse. Maybe we've lost a lot of things like housing, jobs, material possessions, cars, and important people that we love, like family members in our lives, because of the destructive path that we chose through those drugs and alcohol, or toxic people that we decided to join up with. It's devastating, both the same, being a codependent or being an addict. That's why I love and have been joining AA and CODA these days, every hour in the mornings, along with my toxic abuse tapes that I listen to. A lot of good YouTube videos by Richard Grannon, and really a lot of Richard Grannon these days. His work kind of can drag on out there a little bit with all those funny jokes, but still you can feel really close to home and connected when you do start understanding all these questions that you have about why things suck, why and just a lot of your why questions about any of it. The pain, the how to get and break away, how to quit, how to move on, letting go, just all the acceptance and the process of it all, which can, of course, for me, meditation has really grown big in my life, for just being able to accept myself. I think that's a hard one for a lot of us to do. When we grow up in families that are maybe possibly shame-based, and where we get blamed a lot of the time for when people are justifying their own addictions, selfish addictions, whether it's to money, their time, and maybe they were always too busy for you, because they were too busy trying to cope with their own pain and deep wounds that they never knew how to heal. So, therapy plays a big, important part of my life still. And joining groups and things, reading, and as I'm learning to be a good coach, it's just very fulfilling for me to wake up in the morning, and when you feel like you have nobody or no one, maybe that change and recovery transition is happening in yours, where you see old friends just, maybe you're letting them go, or they're just starting to wander off because maybe you're not using anymore, or you're joining different things, and and maybe they're angry. Maybe you started during the recovery stage of using boundaries and learning to say no to harmful behaviors or other people's abuse towards you, whatever it is, when people are just using you, manipulating you, or whatever it is, and you're just in a really unhappy place, and you decided to not tolerate it anymore and put your foot down and start placing boundaries where people aren't going to like it, whether they're angry, and the more manipulative ones might just keep pushing past your boundaries no matter what, and you've had to let people go, and they have a hard time letting go of you, and then they push even harder with the fighting, or it can even get to dangerous levels with certain groups that you have joined in the past. What are you leaving behind? What kind of tribes are you leaving behind? Your safety is of most importance. Maybe you have to move away, to get away from certain individuals that are still trying to threaten you in your life. Or maybe you have started to make amends with people that finally have decided they will respect the boundaries that you're placing, and you come to a good terms and levels with these people where they are finally respecting that you're putting some no rules down about how you want to be treated and things. And you gain relationships back with certain people that you never thought maybe you would again. That's a good place to be. I know it's hard when you do start placing these boundaries, and when you do see people walking away, or you end up walking away, and it can be terrifying during this time. I think that's a phase that I hit on and off throughout this recovery deal. And with certain people, it can be scary. It can be downright terrifying when you're leaving and walking away. And, you know, maybe you were a really good source for them, an empathetic source where you always cared deeply and you took care of that person with everything that you had, to where you lost yourself. You lost who you were. Maybe you grew up and you never learned who you were or the things that you like. You've always did what everybody else did, and you went along with things. But when you step out during recovery, it's just like this whole wide world of what do you really want comes forth. And it can be like a candy store. But then again, you really have to watch yourself, as maybe you're falling in and out of lapsing again. Maybe things have happened where you start reconnecting with old friends, or connecting with other sources to cope through different times in your life, like maybe where trauma, the death of a loved one. Here's Daisy. Hey, hi, Daisy. Say hi. Hey, hey. You know, maybe you've fallen sick. Just things that have really got you down in the dumps again, where maybe you were doing well for a while. Grief, trauma can do that too. And it can be easy to fall back into these patterns, although it's not a good idea to do that, because you spiral even worse downwards, and you can end up hurting yourself more in the long run when you reach for using again, whether it's that man, woman, or like being hoovered back into a relationship, or picking a narcissistic, toxic type right when you get rid of the old one. A lot, it's just so easy to go right back into the same when you haven't done all the recovery work that's needed. How many years is it going to take for you? How much work are you doing on yourself? It's easy to get frustrated and impatient, but I think just to keep on the ball of it and stay in the recovery process, no matter if it's joining an AA and keeping in the AA, even if you mess up a few times, just keep going to it. Do not be ashamed. Do not try to judge yourself, and definitely do not fall for it when other people try to judge you, because it's false. You start learning what is true and what is false, and that is really helpful because you can feel it. You can feel it in your gut. And you can really begin to trust yourself more, even though it can be extremely difficult at first, but it does get easier over time. As I still am in learning mode myself, I'm just giving you things that I believe that I've experienced for myself, and what I see is important and what's not, but safety does come first. Whether you're leaving things or entering new things, maybe if you have to hide for a while away, and maybe live in places where you don't have all that you had once materially, or that privacy that you had once, whether it's just temporarily or longer term, things do begin to change in our lives. But just try not to hurt yourself, and don't let other people hurt you either. So we just try to stay focused here, And I thank you all for listening today, and I hope that you do have a peaceful day.